Welcome to Hillsboro Stadium in Hillsboro, Oregon for the OSAA U.S. Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A football championships. Some new names on Championship Saturday. The Portland Christian Royals against the Oakland Oakers. Bob Akemi and Jim Patterson with you as we get ready to kick things off from Hillsboro. After years of dominance by schools like Culver and John Day, it is time for a new champion, and schools with not a lot of championship tradition, but a lot of dreams. We'll kick it off right after this on Comcast Sportsnet. The Oakers have decided to kick off to start the game, and so Portland Christian will get the first possession in a big lane on this kickoff return all the way up to the 36-yard line. Portland Christian in the white will have the ball first against Oakland. And Jim Patterson, this is an interesting challenge for these teams that have had tremendous years. Oakland, in fact, started the season at 2-2 and didn't quite know what their fate was. They played a couple of 3A teams early, playing up a little bit, and then rolled through league play in the Mountain View, scoring a lot of points and not giving up many points at all. So this will be a challenge against a Portland Christian offense that can really move the football.
Well, Stephen Mumford, 2,154 yards passing and 27 touchdowns for the Portland Christian Royals. Be a tough guy to contain. His brother Nathan, 53 catches, 11 TDs on the season. The Royals like to throw the football, but they'll try to establish a running game so that the play action is much more effective when they do decide to throw the ball. And then, of course, we've got the other story about the Oakers and what they've gone through this past week. We'll talk a little bit about that during the broadcast as well.
We'll give you a look at the Portland Christian offensive lineup after this next play. PC comes to the line. Quick drop and a throw by Mumford, trying to connect, and does up at midfield. That's a first down for PC on their first possession of the game. Jamie Allen brings it in.
Well, Mumford on the quick drop back, just a three-step drop, puts the ball on the sideline right where it needs to be, 1 foot in, and first down.
Portland Christian often moving on the first series of the game. And the middle of that Oakland line, Austin Collins, returning all-state defensive end. Number 71 makes the stop, 6'3", 215. All right, let's meet Portland Christian's offensive starting lineup. Presented by Jack in the Box. Stephen Mumford, the quarterback, 5A junior, all-league. Double slot formation, Jesse DeLucia and Curtis Farmer. Wideouts, Nathan Mumford, the quarterback's brother, Ty Zimmerman. And the offensive line, Jack Hofferth, Peter Pepelaskoff, Mitchell Hofferth, Nathan Carpenter, and Austin Weisenbaker. With jet sweep action and going nowhere is Curtis Farmer, as Oakland has that sniffed out nicely.
Portland Christian tries to run the little counter play with Farmer coming back towards the right side of the field, and the Oakers had it snuffed out pretty good. Of course, defensively, David Henry, number 44 for the Oakers, is a guy to keep our eye on. 214 tackles this season.
A great talent there. You see number 44 there just behind the defensive line. All-state a year ago. Probably going to end up wrestling. He's a two-time state champion at 220 pounds. And there's a look at your Jack-in-the-Box starting lineup for Portland Christian. Your backs and receivers. And there's the offensive line. Hofferth, the main man in the middle. 6', 275. He is the biggest man on the offensive line. That is your Portland Christian offensive lineup from Jack-in-the-Box.
Well, and while we were reviewing the lineups, Portland Christian gets flagged for a penalty.
Mumford going to throw again. That one's hanging up a little bit, but it's caught. out at the 45-yard line, and again, they win the jump ball. Nathan Mumford up for it, the sophomore. You know, amazingly, the Mumford brothers, Nathan wasn't necessarily going to join his brother at Portland Christian. He kind of had the choice. You know, we live near Clackamas, outstanding program there, big 6A program.
Well, they've turned out to be a pretty good tandem. As you can see, Stephen Mumford, 54% completion, 25 TDs, 7 interceptions. A good combination to his brother Nathan, and now a 4th down and 5.
And that ball's knocked down. Huge rush up the middle. Oakland's going to pick it up and try to run it back, but that definitely was a pass. Sawyer Waringo, the nose guard, right in the face of Mumford, just knocked that down.
Well, one of the things about Oakland, as you see the O on the side of those helmets, that's a recognizable O, isn't it? They've had quite a week as they've been dealing with, as a community in the school district, a virus, a stomach virus of some kind that actually had this football team canceling practice this Wednesday. They had 8 guys on their team that couldn't practice.
Well, they had school closed completely in Oakland. Were closed. Not a lot of the team actually had the norovirus, so it wasn't necessarily as crippling as you'd think. We'll take a look now at the Oakland offensive lineup, presented by Jack in the Box. David Henry, we talked about what he does on defense. You'll see him in the backfield. High-volume guy. Multi-talented Hayden Snow does some of the kicking, along with Stroud, Lyons, and Henriksen and Austin Collins. 2nd down. Some open space around the corner. And the Oakland fans in front of us erupting early on as Logan O'Hara, the senior quarterback, strings that out to the very end and finds Ryan Comstock.
Well, just a great job by the quarterback to read that defensive end. And once he saw the end close, makes the pitch to Comstock. Logan O'Hara, the senior quarterback for these Okers. Great play there on the option.
Over 1,200 yards this year passing, and a big blitz is going to set up a big loss for Oakland.
Jesse DeLucia comes into the backfield. Boy, check this out. The little spin toss, and before you can say toss, there's DeLucia.
That ball almost hit DeLucia in the back. He almost didn't know the ball was coming, but makes a great play.
Well, he brought pressure, and Sam Arts just couldn't get the block. So a big loss there for the Okers.
Pushes the ball back to midfield where the series began. It's 2nd and 17. Now Comstock again. Stretch to the right side.
Portland Christian doing a great job with the pursuit from the sideline to sideline. We saw that quite a bit in the earlier game, the 4A title game. North Bend with a very aggressive defense, and Portland Christian starts out with active linebackers and those corners in the secondary coming up to support the run.
Talked about new faces. Oakland trying to win a state championship. They did in B football, but that was a long time ago, 1964. But this is the biggest senior group that Coach Ben Lane has had in his 3 seasons.
Here
they
again,
feel like it's their year.
Anthony White, Bob, on the defense, is in the backfield while the ball is being tossed to Henry. And Henry just with a great individual athletic play to pick up a couple yards. Now it's 4th and about 13 for the Okers.
So both teams keeping it on the ground, and each team's had 1 possession. Oakland's going to have to punt it back. Hayden Snow, we talked about the talented lineman, Snow, the punter.
And ladies and gentlemen, the owner of a...
Steve Johnson is our referee. Let's listen.
DJJ,
on the offense,
please
5-yard
report.
penalty.
And of course, it's very important that Jeep Denali get moved too. But
Absolutely.
we'll let Steve talk. Steve Johnson and our referees from the Blue Mountain Association. made the long trip themselves.
Is that why he looks like he's prepared for the weather?
Yeah.
Those guys from the Blue Mountain know to bring
right.
jackets.
Heck, they had to drive down Cabbage Hill just to get here. They do a little motion on the punt. Craig punting with the wind, nails this one. It is a windy night in Hillsboro. The ball is going to be covered down to the 1-yard line. 50-yard punt. First punt of the game for Hayden Snow. We'll step aside. Already halfway through the first quarter. Ground pounding football has yielded no points yet. Portland Christian nothing. Oakland nothing on Comcast Sportsnet. Lights are on at Hillsboro Stadium. Championship night for Oregon's 2A football powers. 0-0, 5:43 left in the first quarter. Our coverage tonight presented by your local Ford store. Bob Akamian, Jim Patterson. And there's the view from the back of the end zone and a dangerous play on first down. But, Portland Christian, this is the way that Cal Sieber likes to play. I mean, Cal's been around a lot of different teams. Started his career, in fact, in Oakland. Coached at Fort Vancouver, Roosevelt. And he likes his young men to have fun playing the game.
Well, and it looks like they are having fun. I mean, who wouldn't if you were playing for a state championship? This is about as fun as it gets.
Portland Christian, of course, in recent years has had some good high-flying teams offensively, but has always run into that one opponent that has taken them down in postseason. So this is a little bit of a breakthrough for this team. It's a small roster, but very talented. Of course, Portland Christian on the east side of Portland. Coach Sieber actually still teaches in the Vancouver School District, makes that commute every day to practice, but absolutely loves working with his new school. This is his second year. And it didn't take him long to really find that difference that brought Portland Christian this far. They play in the Northwest League, not to be confused with the Northwest Oregon Conference, which is, of course, the Sherwood-Wilsonville League in 5A.
Great play there on defense by number 4, Jeb Harper, who read the quarterback's eyes and stepped in front as Mumford tried to deliver the pass. And then the ball was almost picked off. Here you see Mumford drops back, and there's a great defensive play by Harper. Henry almost makes the interception.
So PC gets the ball out a bit from the end zone, but not very far. And now punting situation there, big rush. And a little bit of the shank tank there for Curtis Farmer. Ball will be covered at the 34-yard line. Good field position for Oakland when we come back. The 2A final moving along quickly. Portland Christian, Oakland scoreless. Band warming up for later activities today as we're ready to resume. Oakland, great field position after the Portland Christian punt. And there's Henry getting loose inside the 25. The big man, 200 tackles, 900 yards of rushing. Not bad.
And he is perfect for number 44, the big fullback, David Henry. There you go, 99 rushes, 988 yards, and 14 touchdowns for Oakland. He's a power running back.
Fake toss. Now over the middle. There it is. Touchdown, Oakland. Nice work by Logan O'Hara as he connects with Austin Nix, the tight end who suddenly has become much more part of the offense here in postseason.
Well, and I love the play call, Bob, because they just hit you with big yardage, handed the ball off to the fullback, and then what do? A little play action with Nix right up the middle, up the seam. Great pass. And an excellent catch. O'Hara put the ball right where it needed to be, and Nix took the ball the rest of the way in for the touchdown.
Austin Gold will attempt the extra point. It's good. And with 3:52 to play, first quarter, Oakland strikes quickly with the short field.
Well, here's what running the football can do for you. The little play action pass, little reverse pivot. They call that the pop pass. Tight end, wide open, perfectly thrown ball. Nix catches the ball and into the end zone. And the Okers are out first here in the 2A state championship game.
And, Logan O'Hara has only been throwing less than 10 passes a game, but he's been very efficient. I mean, look at the average. Coming into this game, he'd completed 63 for 1,100 yards. Do the math.
Yeah.
Very efficient with their passing game. And he's also become more of a runner this year to complement Comstock and Henry, who were doing all the work carrying the football. But you're running the option. You got a quarterback who can make the fakes. Makes sense. So O'Hara's become more of a threat, even though he passes less. And, of course, 3-year starter, definitely in command of his offense. And Oakland has a 7-0 lead.
That's what a great running game will do. Defense has got to honor the fact that you might run the football, and then the passing game opens up.
That ball will go out of bounds. Nathan Mumford looked at it and said, nah.
Which means that Portland Christian will very likely get excellent field position to start this drive, much better than the position they had on the field in their last series.
It's only the second possession of the first quarter. We're already down inside of 4 minutes, so this is one of those games where you need to make good use of your possessions. There aren't going to be that many in this game. And we'll wait for the call. Won't be marked off, but Royals will start at the 35. Well, they did, they took a little chance there, and they did get the ball out of the shadow of their own goalpost. Little misdirection.
The busman, Chris, number 48 with the ball carry. And you can tell in the formation, Portland Christian likes to really go with very narrow splits at the offensive line. The backs are up very close to the quarterback. And a lot of what they do is just to try to hide the football so that as the quarterback carries out the fakes, you really don't know where the ball is at. You can see him really up tight, maybe a yard in between quarterback and fullback.
Over the middle, and the ball's knocked away at the last second. And a good job defensively by Caden Moore, the 5'8 senior.
Yeah, Caden Moore does a great job because he's in zone coverage. He's got to drop back, and he gets right where he needs to. Boy, a great play to get his arm in there just at the last minute. The fact is, Caden was beat, but he makes a great play at the last minute and knocks the ball away. Good play for number 33. Gets a pat on the helmet there from Coach.
Mumford throws deep. Has a man knocked away again. This time back defensively. Jeb Harper, the junior.
Well, that's the second time in 3 series that Harper has played a role in breaking up a pass where it looked like Nathan Mumford was going to be wide open. But a great job by Harper. And the defensive front for Oakland putting just enough pressure on Mumford that he's having to throw the ball a little bit sooner than he'd like. That's really the key. Don't let that quarterback get his feet set and feel comfortable. And Oakland has been bringing the heat.
Punt time for Portland Christian. Farmer puts it deep. And the ball will roll to a stop at the 31-yard line. Well, how do the Oakland Okers get here, you may ask? This is the road to the playoffs, and again, it included games against 3A teams, 10-2 Mountain View Conference champions, and in postseason, they put the points up on Enterprise, and the one that impresses me is Gold Beach, because Gold Beach has so much tradition. We talked about these teams being new in the 2A ranks. We were so used to Culver, Gold Beach, Vale once they'd gone to 2A, and Oakland kind of ran the table getting here, got in a shootout with Central Lynn. And again, their only losses earlier in the year to good 3A teams, especially Scio, and then Coquille. So Oakland goes back to the bread and butter, this time starting from the 31. So their drives have started from midfield, the Portland Christian 33. And this is actually the worst field position of the first quarter.
So when they hand the ball off, we're going to be seeing Comstock, number 30, and then David Hendry, number 44. Those are really the bread and butter guys. And off-play action, this is why the Okers have been so successful when they do throw the football.
2nd and 7. Go to the other side with Comstock. Over the 40, still going. First down at the 50. Well, both these guys, you can tell, Henry and Comstock, they get to the edge. I mean, they're not lightning quick, but boy, when they turn it up, they get that extra yardage.
Well, and what they get here, Bob, on this play is just some great blocking outside. Look at the defensive end.
There's Henry
gets blocked
leading.
off, and then look at
Henry's
Henry.
blocking 2 guys.
He's got 2 guys that he literally
and he keeps blocking 11.
Downfield. So much, I mean, the kid's got value, not just carrying the football, but also as a blocker, a lead blocker on the sweep.
Little movement there on the line, but no flags. And so Oakland marching on the ground early on. 37 rush yards.
That's what it looks like from the field level. You can see the Oakland Oker sideline. A good view of what's happening on the field.
For those of you not familiar with some of the more distant precincts of Oregon, Oakland north of Roseburg, right off Interstate 5. Beautiful little historic downtown. Of course, in the heart of timber country. A lot of tradition in basketball. Had some good runs to the state tournament there. Here's Steve Johnson.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So this is a big series for Portland Christian. 2nd and 10.
They stopped him on the first series, and I think the short field was a little more daunting. That touchdown play was well executed as well. Plenty of time. O'Hara, incomplete. Backing into the coverage.
Jeb Harper, the wide receiver.
Curtis Farmer.
Broke a couple balls up. There's Farmer, number 29.
Well, see, Farmer can't say he put his hands on him because he just leaned into him.
Yeah, the ball was thrown high, and Harper would have had to have made a circus catch to get there. But Farmer gets credit for at least being in the vicinity.
So now 3rd down. Let's see what we get here. Next pitch to Comstock. Won't get much further. DeLucia puts him away with plenty of help, and Portland Christian shows how well they get to the football.
Bob, here's the issue. They've got 7, 8 guys in the box. They are literally forcing and daring Portland Christian, or rather Oakland, to throw the football. And the problem is that if they happen to hit a quick hitter to Henry, there's nobody in the secondary. So Portland Christian kind of rolling the dice when they put 7 and 8 men in the box. But that time it worked out. Forced a punt on 4th down.
Snow punts for the second time. And again with the wind behind him, it is caught on the run, but a fair catch. Back at the 14-yard line, Portland Christian starts from there. Here's how the Royals made it to the state final this year. As we said, Portland Christian plays in the Northwest League. They were the league champions. Defeated Stanfield. Very good Hepner. I'd say these last 2 teams they beat, talk about tradition again. Hepner and Lost River, both former state champions.
Well, there's no question these 2 teams are deserving of being here. They had to make their way through a tough schedule, particularly in the playoffs. And they land in the championship game tonight here at Hillsboro Stadium.
So 3rd possession here. In the final minute of the first quarter, pass over the middle, deflected, and now a penalty flag is out.
Well, Johnny Comstock's going to get flagged for pass interference or holding, more than likely. It looked like at first glance he was going to be making the great play with the left hand, but on the back side of the jersey.
Defense, 15-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
That is. And it was, it looked like good coverage, but I think he was detaining along the way.
He really didn't protest too much. You can see now Mumford drops back.
Now watch 21 in blue as the ball comes in. Well, it had already happened at that point. But I think he might have been holding him up all the way. And the flag came out right away, so the official was obviously looking at it. Nice counter.
Well, there's
Farmer.
there's the danger in walking those outside linebackers up, so you play 6 guys in the box, and then when they run counter, there's nobody outside. And Farmer was able to get big yardage on the counter play.
And you notice no matter what the front is, there's always 5 linebackers. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Probably just be one more play. Quarterback draw, nothing doing. Blue shirts everywhere. Mumford with nowhere to go, and that will tick off the final 10 seconds of the first quarter. Don't blink. You will miss something in this football game. Oakland scores on the short field, and after one, the Okers have the lead in Portland's 2A football championship game. You're watching it on Comcast Sportsnet. You're watching the OSAA U.S. Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A Football Championships presented by your local Ford store. Go online to compareford.com. Bob McCamey and Jim Patterson. Second quarter is here. 7-0 in favor of the Okers. We'll have some local Ford store stats in a moment. You see Stephen Mumford, 2 of 6, 31 yards to start the game. Make it 3 of 7, my friends, as they go to the edge again. Portland Christian offense consists of some pretty simple passes. You look for the edge, get the ball with the sideline to help, and then that ball over the middle.
Well, and then throw the ball to somebody who you are familiar with, your brother Nathan, who goes up and makes a good catch there.
That's Nathan Mumford's 3rd catch already. In fact, he is the only receiver who's caught a pass from Stephen.
And Nathan quite accomplished defensively this year as well. 10 interceptions on the season from his defensive back position.
3rd down and 5. And timeout. Going to be called by Portland Christian. Getting a little late on the play clock. And so Mumford wisely takes the timeout. Well, let's take a quick look at the first quarter stats, courtesy of your local Ford stores. First downs 4-3 in favor of Oakland. Rushing yards, Oakland 39. Portland Christian 11. Passing yards, Portland Christian 31, Oakland 22. Logan O'Hara 2 of 3 passing for 22 yards. Stephen Mumford 2 of 6 passing for 31 yards. Leading rusher in the game, Ryan Comstock of Oakland 5 for 20 yards. And Curtis Farmer leading Portland Christian 2 for 10.
Rob, I'm not so sure that the fact that Oakland had walked 3 extra guys up and made an 8-man front didn't have something to do with that as well, depending on what the play call was. But those are the kinds of things that Oakland will do to mix things up, knowing that Portland Christian likes to run the football, and a lot of that is deception, carrying out fakes. They like to pull guards and tackles, counter plays. So get as many guys in the box and actually force them to throw the football. That means you'll have man coverage on the outside. And that's where Nathan Mumford may really have a big night.
See, the skies have opened up a little bit here, so rain has returned. And Mumford couldn't quite bust that tackle, but he's into Oakland territory. We've talked about the wind all day. It's actually slackened up a little bit. We've had a brisk wind out of the south and west all afternoon. It's been dry, but raining forecast to return through the evening.
Nice little counter play. Quarterback and the back both act like the ball gets snapped way over their head, and then they come back with that little counter to Farmer. We knew the rain was coming. Prediction was that it'd be here around 6 o'clock, but it has kind of been on and off throughout the afternoon.
And it's definitely on.
Picked it up a little bit now, yeah.
Going to measure.
And again, the wet weather really doesn't have as big an impact on teams that like to run the football. However, you do need to make sure you take care of the ball. The weather becomes, you can see the rain, ball becomes a little bit more slippery. So now it's all about making sure you're talking to your players, especially those that are running the football, ball security, cover up the point and keep it tucked in that elbow.
Well, you saw the other end of the measurement, but there's the first down. And what a great fake there. There were defensive players chasing Mumford. They were chasing Farmer.
Yeah.
But the ball went right up the middle.
Okay, look at the ball fake.
1, 2, oh no, went first.
They ran the quick trap.
We had a guy see it.
But it was carrying.
We got a guy on it.
That's right. Carrying out the fakes.
The busman.
Are where the rest of the defense for the Okers thought the ball was. But they just tried to run the quick trap. You can see the 4-man front. 3 linebackers, and then the outside, the corners and the safeties.
Mumford detained a little bit before he can get any more. And of course, this has a lot of the look of the fly sweep to it with the multiple fakes. Of course, it's done in a much tighter formation, which disguises what you do. And a lot of times you do, it's just like the option. You give the ball to the first guy. because you're not going to see it anyway.
No. Oakland just doing a really good job at the line of scrimmage of staying home. Each one of those guys has an assignment, a gap assignment. That's how you defend against counterplays. Somebody's got to be there. Stay home. Ball's coming to you.
Might not have been a bad thing, but that ball was dropped. That was a more than naked screen.
Yeah, I think Ty Zimmerman, number 18, obviously.
I think he wanted the ball.
Some footsteps. He short-armed it just a bit. Good coverage by number 3 on the defense, Jordan Bailey. So now Portland Christian again in a situation where they've got a 4th down and 5 yards to go.
Rugby punt. Again, good pressure brought by Oakland. And an opportunity for a return for Jeb Harper. Harper out to the 15-yard line. Oakland will have it there when we come back. 9:15 to play in the first half. Oakland scored first. Oakers still up 7-0. The Oakland Oakers have the ball at the 15-yard line with a 7-0 lead in the second quarter. The OSAA U.S. Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A Football Championships presented by your local Ford stores. Logan O'Hara, 2 for 3 passing. Oakland happy to keep it on the ground. That ball almost came out of the hands of the ball carrier. Is that Comstock again? Yes.
What a break there. As Comstock was able to keep possession of the football off the handoff from O'Hare. And fortunate that there wasn't contact as soon as he got the handoff, because the ball was airborne and he was able to snatch it back in his own possession.
Comstock 20 yards on 5 carries. Henry 19 yards on 3 carries. So no big stuff yet from the running duo. There's Henry. Oh, I spoke too soon. Here comes Henry, and that's how fast the big strong man is. He will take it 77 yards. Touchdown, Oakland. I spoke too soon.
He left a trail of Royals behind him. Boy, talk about a guy who can hit the hole quickly and then accelerate once he gets into the secondary. David Henry, what a football player. That was tremendous. And whatever was going on down there in Oakland, David Henry doesn't look like he has any ill effects. Boy, this guy has come to play tonight.
Now it started right in the middle of that line. It was a great hole he ran through. Scotty Stroud, the center. Gage Lyons on the right side, the guard. 2-point conversion try. It's good. Logan O'Hara pulled it up. Threw it to Jeb Harper. And it's 15-0 in favor of Oakland. Here's the touchdown.
Well, just a little counter handoff. Look at the blocking And then once this guy gets into the secondary, look at him accelerate. I mean, this is a big kid.
There's 5 guys chasing.
One miss, and now another
2.
miss at the 10, and just a little high step in for the touchdown. Big number 44, David Henry, 6 foot 230, and a senior. And don't forget, folks, on the other side of the football this season, that young man had 214 tackles. And he plays pretty much the entire football game. That's quite a motor.
And again, I had a chance to call his champion. Well, there are your numbers at halftime. Oakland leading Portland Christian 21-7 at Hillsboro Stadium. Bob Akamian, Jim Patterson along with you. Your local Ford store presents the first half stats, and Oakland getting it done on the ground. They haven't had to pass the football. I think that's the difference. We talk about exerting your will. Oakland hasn't had to do anything difficult yet offensively.
Well, and one of the things I can tell you, being downstairs in a long line, even the fans for the Okers are really kind of surprised at how much the team has thrown the football in this game. They're not used to that.
197 yards of total offense, and the penalty numbers, and this hasn't hurt Oakland. 7 penalties for 57 yards, but none of that has really changed the game. So 21-7 the numbers right now. When we come back, we'll take a look at some first half highlights and try to dry things off. You can see the wet stuff coming down at Hillsboro Stadium. You're watching the OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A Football Championships on Comcast Sportsnet. Team still in the locker rooms. We continue at halftime. 21-7, Oakland leading Portland Christian on Comcast Sportsnet. Our coverage today presented by your local Ford stores. And the Okers, as if on cue, come back onto the field. Let's take a look at some highlights from the first half. It's been kind of like a boxing match. A lot of little sparring and punching, but not many big blows except for this one. Nix over the middle for the early touchdown. Pretty bold play for Oakland.
Well, and that came after a Henry 20-yard run at the fullback position. So when they went play action, easy touchdown.
So that put Oakland ahead 7-0, and Oakland would lead 21-0 before Jesse DeLucia caught the 66-yard pass from Stephen Mumford, and that's where we sit at 21-7. Portland Christian fans braving the wet to welcome their team back on the field. We're back with the second half kickoff after this on Comcast Sportsnet. It's like a Christmas card. Hillsboro Stadium, all decked out for the holidays and with a little bit of Oregon wet, including our crew. We think that's Tom Turner hiding underneath that camera as we get ready for the second half. Championship Saturday night, the first weekend of December at Hillsboro Stadium. You're watching it on Comcast Sportsnet, courtesy of your local Ford stores. Bob Akamian, Jim Patterson. And we're ready to start the second half, and Oakland with the 21-7 lead will get the ball first. Portland Christian, I think they get a little lift from that stand they made to end the second quarter.
Well, you were reading my mind. I think that's exactly right. It could have been worse, but the defense was able to make a stand right there at the end of the second quarter, so they're only down 2 scores.
Difficult ball to handle. Of course, things getting pretty wet out there. There's Comstock being ridden up to the 22. Boy, Comstock, we talk about Henry so much. Comstock does the dirty work.
He's a good back. I mean, he is definitely not afraid of contact, either defensively or on offense. And he's one of those guys that if you don't make a tackle around the legs, he will simply overpower you. A number of missed tackles even on that kickoff return, which he fumbled around before he ever picked it up to run.
Comstock actually the leader in the amount of number of carries. You see 8 carries in the first half. David Henry had 7. He had 99 yards thanks to the 77-yard touchdown blast. Here come the Okers from the 23. Toss to Comstock, got his blockers.
That's just the old student body right toss sweep, where even the quarterback O'Hara gets in the game, where he's going to be out lead blocking as well. And it makes me think that, if you're Oakland with a 2-touchdown lead, the weather as it is, the fact that they don't really like to throw the ball that much anyway, this really kind of plays into their hands.
Hey, just keep it simple. Well, and you saw just the trouble Comstock had picking up the kickoff. I mean, it's getting very wet out there now. It's eased up for a second, but it's still coming down pretty good. You can tell by how much raindrops you can see falling between the lights. There's Henry. Henry pulls away from one tackler and then goes down. Saving play by Pepelaskov.
Weisenbaker, number 56, tries to bring him down by just yanking on that number 44 jersey, but it's going to take a lot more than that to bring David Henry down. We mentioned he's 6 foot 230, and not just powerful, but he showed some speed in the first half as he broke away for a score.
The O'Hara's numbers there, and now the flags come out again.
Well, and this is probably very frustrating because I'm almost positive that one of the things Oakland talked about.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I'm sure one of the things they talked about was, guys, there'll be a lot of pre-snap moving around by Portland Christian. Don't jump. And that's exactly what they come out at halftime and do.
It's the 8th penalty of the game. And most of them have been 5-yard. Wait, it's 8 for 63?
Yeah.
Henry fights his way for a few. Henry, you can tell the difference with Henry, even when he is completely in the grasp, he'll still get 1 or 2 more yards.
Oh, no question. He's one of those guys that always falls forward. Anthony White, number 28 there, was the first guy in. And as we've talked about before, the best way to bring Henry down is, hips or lower. You try to take him up around the shoulder pads, he'll just run over you. Speaking of running over, 62 right in your front room.
Punt time, big rush. O'Hara gets it away. And a fair catch taken at the 41-yard line. Portland Christian will start from there. 9:25 to go in the third. PC would like to get it rolling. They're down by 2 touchdowns. You're watching the OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A football championships on Comcast Sportsnet.
and some of U.S. credit cards to offer. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you. USAA was proud to partner with the Oakland by OSAA Hillsboro, the headquarters hotel for all Hillsboro OSAA state championships. You can explore restaurants and shopping within walking distance of the hotel at Oakland by OSAA Hillsboro and the complimentary tours. Go above and beyond, it's the Marriott way.
Oakland leading Portland Christian. 9:25 remaining in the third quarter at Hillsboro Stadium. 48 degrees along with the wet stuff right now. That's championship football, my friends.
Well, it's December 1st in Oregon.
You want to be playing on December 1st. I mean, come on. Bob Akamian, Jim Patterson. Always pleased to be with you on December 1st because that means we're talking about championship football. And again, a great story of these two schools being in the championship game after the run of Gold Beach and Culver. Oh, great programs. There's Kennedy, Sile when they were a 2A school. The masters of the double wing.
Yeah, the Loggers.
Napa. In fact, these two schools have unusually large rosters for Class 2A teams, both around 40, which is a lot for a 2A school.
Absolutely.
And that has something to do with why they're here.
Angus Swan on the defense for the Oakers in the blue uniforms with the yellow or gold-colored O.
Ben Lane, the Oakland coach, was telling me this week he actually had 44 kids early in the year, and
that's pretty good.
There's the usual defections and injuries, but that shows you have a level of commitment, and they've got I think the other thing is Oakland's youth kids play in a kind of a master Douglas County league. Mumford throwing it up. Zimmerman can't quite get to that. So the Oakland kids, when they're younger, they're playing Roseburg. They're playing Douglas.
That's playing
that
up.
Helps, yeah. I mean, and of course, Sutherland benefits from that too. From the a little further away, but that is really good for youth. There's only one. Obviously, there's only one team from each of the smaller areas, but mixing in and playing, with kids from Roseburg who grew up watching Thurman Bell teams, and where those little kids standing there slapping hands with the varsity coming up, and it's been very good for this program. Punt time. Portland Christian cannot generate anything, and with 8 minutes to go in the third, Oakland has it right back. So if you're Portland Christian now I know they're not on offense, how are you going to manage it? It's very wet now. The wind's kicking up again. You got to throw the ball somewhat. What is the more reliable, safe passing game?
Well, I think, again, high percentage passes would tell me that you want to try to get backs out in the backfield into the flats, maybe use your wide receivers on the curl or out routes. I think throwing any ball deep is going to be too difficult because it's going to keep a handle on the football, especially when it's slippery and wet. So really, Portland Christian, the weather will be the biggest disadvantage for them because they've got to catch up.
It's like you want to throw some little hitches and let somebody like DeLucia or Mumford Jr. get in there and really get the yak. And you're going to run okay. This is a fairly new field surface, and even wet, with any kind of speed, you're still going to have an edge on a defender. The defender has to match your cuts.
Well, the bigger issue is stopping 44. I mean, you've got to stop David Henry if you're Portland Christian to have any chance. And at this point, they're going to be very happy just to keep handing the football off to Comstock or Henry. O'Hara keeping the football, toss sweep right, toss sweep left. That's what they need to do to win.
Henry over 100 yards now. Gets the ball again. See, look at his footwork. Pretty low to the ground guy, but you see how he changed his pace as he went outside, picks his feet up.
Well, and more than anything else, as an offensive player, he's the one that delivers the blow. You could tell on that last play.
And not to belabor.
Pepelowskov tried to tackle him, and he's now off the field.
And not to belabor the wrestling thing, but again, you watch him on the wrestling mat, once that whistle blows, you're on your back, and you think, wait a minute, we were just shaking hands.
Yeah, he is quick.
No, that is really the magic of his physicality, what he does. And then he just leans forward. It's a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, so he gets hit first by Grishkevich, number 68, bounces off him, bounces off another player, and gets another 3 yards jumping in the air. I mean, that's just a very talented running back, and he's got it down, Bob. He obviously knows how to carry the football as a big physical runner. I think what I've really appreciated tonight in seeing his game is once he gets into the open field, how fast he is.
Midway through the third quarter now. And Oakland out near midfield and now whistles.
Dead ball. Delay game. 5-yard.
See the call by Steve Johnson, delay of game against Oakland. And, of course, they're going to take their time walking up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that probably is a byproduct of trying to cut it just a little bit too close to not snap it too early. And of course, they don't have play clocks at this level. The official will be keeping that clock on the field. Well, now.
Big takeaway for Portland Christian. And we've seen Wolpert on defense be around the football, and that time he comes up with it. Portland Christian has it in Oakland territory.
Well, that was really more just a mistake by the Okers. The pitch was wide, and now it's like a slippery pig. He can't get a hold of it. Comstock did his very best. You know, the big key there, Bob, is you really just need to fall down and cover that ball, and Comstock tried to pick it up and continue to run. That's probably the error. And Wolpert, a freebie, turnover, and now they're inside the 35-yard line with a chance to make the game closer.
Mumford, deep drop, throws. There's his man, first down at the 23-yard line.
Boy, I'm impressed with Mumford because he felt some backside pressure. He hung in there, threw the ball at the last minute. Look at 55 come off the corner. But he just kind of shot-putted it out there. Nice little spiral.
Curtis Farmer again.
Farmer was able to make the catch, and so Portland Christian, you know, just as soon as we started talking about how they were going to need to throw the football, and that really was a high percentage pass, a little out route. Nice throw, nice catch.
Now you got to take advantage of the situations. So Farmer with his second catch of the game. And another penalty flag. This would be only the fourth penalty against Portland Christian.
Yeah, this one's going against the Okers, Bob, for lining up offsides. I think the nose guard.
Defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the 10th Oakland penalty.
Well, and those are killers because those are just mental mistakes. I mean, lining up in the neutral zone. Come on, you're right there on the football. And it was the nose man that actually lined up offsides. Let's see, is everybody where they need to be? I think so.
Nice dive and good yardage inside the 10-yard line for DeBusman.
Bob, you can also tell that Oakland is trying to shoot a gap. Watch him try to shoot the gap right at the pre-snap. Boom. He gets through there before the guard could ever get a block on him, but the quick-hitting little trap play, and DeBusman was able to get a big gain. But that's part of the reason why Oakland's jumping offside so much is they're anticipating the snap count.
Yeah, Angus Swan there was trying to blast through. Counteraction gets nothing, but keeps the clock moving.
Not so fast, says Mr. Henry. Always around the football. And what's really interesting is if you talk to Coach Lane, one of the questions about Henry was with all these tackles before the game, 214 tackles, he said, look, you can look at the game film and count them. He was in on 214 tackles. And I'm not surprised because he's been around the ball all night in this game.
5th tackle officially in this one. Quick drop. There's the pass for the end zone. Caught for the touchdown.
Well, now, we've got a football game.
Ty Zimmerman frustrated in the first half. Great job keeping his footing. And it's a touchdown for Portland Christian.
Well, he got behind Jordan Bailey, the Oakers safety, and Mumford, who really has a great way of just dropping the football in. Look, puts wonderful touch on it. And there is the receiver behind Bailey. Great job by Ty Zimmerman.
Extra point is good. And the 21-0 lead is now 21-14. Late in the third quarter, Portland Christian making a game of it in the rain in Hillsboro. Scoring drive provided by your local Ford stores. Only took 4 plays to go 34 yards following the fumble recovery, minute 19. And the touchdown pass, 11 yards from Stephen Mumford to Ty Zimmerman. So Zimmerman kind of getting off the schneid now.
And Mumford came into this game with 2,154 yards passing, so they can throw the football.
It's 8 of 18, short kick, but this will be covered by Oakland. That's one of those, it's not really an onside kick, but you put it between everybody, and you might catch them by surprise, but you push it downfield enough.
Well, remember the Civil War 2 weeks ago. Oregon went to that kick right down the middle. Oregon State couldn't handle the ball. It's very effective because that ball doesn't bounce the way you think it should.
And when you push it a little further ahead, you get a lot of momentum as the coverage team.
Right.
I mean, frankly, it's easier to execute. First and 10 from the 34. Comstock turns the corner over the 40 and a first down immediately before he's wrestled out of bounds. An 11-yard gain for Comstock.
Yeah, just student body right. I mean, this is a real simple play. It's just a little toss sweep. Look at Henry out on the lead block. You've got number 3 out on the edge. Jordan Bailey making a block.
And look at Bailey. Bailey stuck his guy and got downfield.
And Henry's still downfield as well. So, a lot of times you'll see a guy that'll make an initial block and then they just stop. But obviously Oakland's backs and receivers are very well coached. But now all of a sudden,
we have a penalty.
We've talked all positive about that. Behind the play was a hold. So the play that we had such rave reviews about comes back because of a hold. I'd run the same play this way now. Run wide side of the field, get the edge.
Because that's not a 3 or 4 yard running play on paper. I mean, you're going to get 5-10 if you execute it halfway. Now let's go up the middle with Henry. Henry picks his way. I don't know where the hole was. I think he just stepped around the blockers. And again, he doesn't even look like he's running that fast.
This is just a little quick hitter. You know, the tackle and the guard down block on their guys, just create a seam. And next thing you know, Henry's into the secondary. And I can guarantee you that David Guild, who winds up making the tackle, or I guess gets in the way, was feeling the effects from the big 230-pounder.
Part of it was Nix sealed so well on the outside, it looked like
cow.
it wasn't even a hole. Now they just can't tackle him. Henry to the 40. 124 yards.
Well, this is just a great run. Watch 44. Boom! Down on the ground. I mean, it's one thing to pancake block a guy or to actually knock somebody over as a defensive player, but when you're on offense running the football, come on. That's amazing. Just a power runner. And again, he's got both power and speed. He's a real game changer.
Well, he's been getting looks from Oregon State, Portland State, very interested in him. And you think about Portland State, he brings you to mind is Bobby McClintock from Marshfield, who was a very powerful, ended up playing defense, but was an outstanding power running back during his high school days.
Well, he and Comstock are an excellent 1-2 punch. I mean, even again there, Henry is the lead blocker, and he gets up to that second level, seals off a linebacker, and Comstock runs right off that block. Oakland now on the offensive line is really starting to get the push that you need if you're going to run the football effectively.
Henry again, punishing the defense inside the 25. This is a pretty good answering drive right now.
Boy, I would say this is one with resolve. And the thing is, watch the guys in the white jerseys who fly backwards. Look at this.
1, 2.
Holy cow.
And Gil just falls on him. He said, I'm not going to put my body on this. I'm just going to make sure he's on the ground.
Well, trying to tackle him high is not the way to go.
Henry again. Well, Henry up to 147. That'll get him to about 150 yards. Averaging 10 yards a carry. Running straight ahead most of the night.
Well, and Portland Christian has done a pretty good job with wide plays. I mean, they've hit on a couple sweeps.
Not many, yeah.
But not very many. This is really where this has been their bread and butter, is Comstock and Henry right up the middle of the field. And this plays right into their hands because, again, we've mentioned the weather. You can see the rain, the turf a little bit slick. They don't want to throw the ball if they don't have to. And when you can get a guy 10 yards per carry, no reason to.
Timeout for measurement. Here's Henry's numbers. Now 153 and a touchdown.
Not too bad. And we've still got a whole nother quarter to go. Little power I formation with the slot man.
Henry, look at that. Change direction. In the air down to the 1 yard line. Oh, man. 18 yards.
Well, and it really doesn't matter what they do with everybody else. They can put a guy in motion. They can run a guy away from the ball. Hey, hand the ball off to number 44 and let him go. Look at this. Big
nice
hole
hole
up front.
Look at the cut. Guild, whoops. Whoop, jumps over. Are you kidding?
That's just athletic. That's what that is. And again, folks, this is a kid that's 6 foot, 230 pounds.
He's not exactly huge, but he's huge enough. Oh, and a flag in the middle of that.
Let's guess what that is. I think it's the center, and I think it's a hold.
Yeah, they threw it right in the middle there.
And I can tell by the body language of number 53, the center, Scotty Stroud, that he's not happy. That ball is literally right on the goal line.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty. Still one.
Still first down. The Oakland crowd in front of us disapproving.
Now, personally, I thought it was more of a tackle than a hold.
Yeah.
But they would categorize it the same way. Boy, I love this shot. This is coming right at you.
Henry runs right by everybody. Touchdown, Oakland.
That's just too easy. And I'll tell you, the reason it's too easy is because the guys up front, the offensive linemen, are doing a terrific job. And Henry, of course, doesn't need a whole lot of help. That was an impressive drive.
Henry's second touchdown of the night, over 160 yards now. And a half dozen tackles. Here comes the extra point. By the way, if there's any doubt about the wetness, kick is blocked. So with a minute 20 to go in the third, it's now 27-14. One more time. See, moving it back to 10 yards just made it easier for Henry. Again, PC trying to shoot the gaps.
Yeah, but look at the work up front. Just a pancake block by the left tackle. That'd be Gage Lyons. What a great block. And, of course, that's why he doesn't get touched till he gets to the secondary. They've just done a great job of blocking at the point of attack.
There's your local Ford store scoring drive. Oakers go 66 yards and 9 plays, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And there's Henry's numbers, 185 on 19 attempts. So still at that 10-yard a carry.
And really, the only criticism of that drive would be they would like it to have taken longer. But the big plays by Henry, 10 yards a carry, for heaven's sakes.
Well, Portland Christian just conducted their best drive of the night, and now admittedly it was on a short field. But I think if you're the Royals, there's a lot of time left. In this game, it's 2 possessions. You got to come out and keep attacking. Interestingly enough, Portland Christian's only loss this year was to a very good ground control game. And, of course, that's Napa, one of the masters of the double wing.
Right. Ball kicked out of bounds, so Portland Christian will get good field position here again with the ball spotted at the 35. Well, so interestingly enough, Portland Christian has declined the penalty. No, they've taken the penalty, but they've decided that they want Oakland to kick the ball from 5 yards back. So maybe they're rolling the dice hoping that he'll kick it out of bounds from here.
It's an even better field position.
I think what they want to keep in play, Bob, is the possibility to return a kick for a touchdown. By taking it at the 35, you're really taking the ball out of your special teams' hands to be able to make a big play, and that's probably why they would prefer to their team. They get a running start. Notice how deep they are. 15 yards deep.
Good coverage on that. Difficult to run sideways for Zimmerman.
So after all that, in terms of field position, you lose 1 yard because you'll get the ball at the 34 instead of the 35.
Minute 16 left in the third quarter. Portland Christian looking to rally. And Portland Christian won games in postseason without scoring a lot of points. They put up 25 against Lost River, which is a running team, and then Heppner, they only needed 21. Their defense did a great job against the Mustangs. There's a little counter, and on first down, some good yardage. DeLucia up over the 45. DeLucia kind of forgotten sometimes, but he's got some explosiveness too.
Well, he's a good running back, and he's even more dangerous when they get the ball to him out of the backfield with the pass. It's just a little toss counter off the left side, and a nice job of cutting back inside, then running hard. Kept those knees up high. That tackler came in and took one right in the chops. Nix was actually the guy that finally makes the tackle downfield from his defensive end position. And DeLucia Looks like he may be cramping just a little bit as he goes to the fluid. You can see as he pulled back his ankle, that's usually a sign of a cramp.
And a big shot through the gap. Henry blows that up with some help by Hayden Snow.
I mean, they are just anticipating. They've got the snap count down. And before the offensive lineman can even make his first step to get a block on somebody, they're in the backfield. Now with 10 seconds left, it'll be interesting to see if they even try to run a play here.
And it looks like they will let the clock expire. No, they get the play off. Mumford pass. Caught and dropped. And with that, the third quarter comes to an end. Portland Christian looking for the comeback, but still trailing Oakland by 13 in Oregon's 2A championship game.
Delicious, nutritious milk was named the official beverage of the Oregon Schools Athletic Association. All kinds of kids drink because milk from around here is all kinds of good. That's just one reason milk was named the official beverage of the OSAA. This message brought to you by the College of Oregon.
You're watching the OSAA U.S. Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A football championships, presented by your local Ford store. Start of the fourth quarter, the Oakland Okers 27, the Portland Christian Royals 14. Bob Akamian, Jim Patterson, and our hardy crew playing on through the monsoon at Hillsboro. And yes, it is as cold as it looks, along with the wet out there.
Boy, this is where really good rain gear is a blessing.
That's right. And of course you see, and it's funny because the further away you come from, like you'll notice a lot of the Oakland fans, they got their duck hunt, they got their hunting camo on here. It's perfect for this kind of game.
Yep.
Stephen Mumford's numbers, 8 of 19 passing, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, trying to bring the Royals back. Goes out of the backfield, complete and some room for Farmer. Curtis Farmer, his third catch of the game.
Nice little executed screenplay, a little dump pass to the left side to Farmer. Mumford did a good job of selling that he was going to throw the ball right.
And right now, you're just thinking about, let's just score a touchdown.
Yeah,
so
that's
use
it.
This drive, score.
Yeah, you got 11:53 left, so there's a lot of the quarter left. The tendency here is when you have to play catch-up, you get ahead of yourself just a little bit. So now it's patience and execution. Try to put something up on the board, make this thing really close.
They'll give the ball back this time. Oh, and a bad snap on the punt. Kick is away, but it's going to dribble out of bounds. That is a -2 punt.
Well, and I think the ball actually got tipped because the kicker, Farmer, got run into. We can take a look to see exactly what happened here. We know the snap was iffy at best. And then as Farmer, yeah, that ball was tipped. I think it was knocked down and out of bounds, and that's one of the reasons why the flag doesn't come out.
And Oakland gets the ball at the Portland Christian 46. Well, now you're back to your defense needing to make a stand. Comstock with Henry blocking. Turns the corner. Down to the 35. First down.
Well, so you probably think 44 is going to get it, but no, we'll use him as a lead blocker. Again, Bailey with a beautiful job of sealing the edge, and then Comstock with enough speed to hit the corner. Good gain. The only thing that you'd like to see is maybe stay in bounds. So the clock continues to run. But a good play on first down by the Okers.
Your third quarter stats, courtesy of your local Ford stores. Total offense, 173 yards for Portland Christian, 298 for Oakland.
And counting.
We'll continue to add it up as Jordan Bailey gets down to the 20-yard line. Another first down. That will be the 16th first down of the game for Oakland. 12 for Portland Christian. Time of possession, over 19 minutes now for Oakland. 17-19 for Portland Christian. Penalties, 13 for 96 yards for the Okers, and yet they really haven't changed the game very much to 3 for 20. And those third quarter stats again, courtesy of your local Ford store. Good penetration there defensively. And Portland Christian gets the stop with Weisenbaker.
Nice play by Weisenbaker. Portland Christian, 7, 8 men at the line of scrimmage trying to essentially take away the run, or at least disrupt it. We've said it a couple times, the only problem with that many guys at the line of scrimmage and a linebacker at the point of attack is that if they break through into the secondary, nobody catches you. That time they did a good job of really sealing up the middle. Good play there by Jack Hoffarth.
Center.
Pick number 78. Yeah, this is imperative here that Portland Christian gets a stop.
They get right up on the line of scrimmage. Blitz coming, screen coming, good coverage.
Beautiful tackle by DeLucia.
And, that was great because they didn't send everybody on that blitz, and DeLucia was just waiting out on the edge.
You can see he's just reading zone now, and he sees right back out of the backfield. If he doesn't make that tackle, there's a lot of running room for Comstock. That was a great play by number 5 for Portland Christian.
Now, fourth down. We're going to have a timeout called. I don't think Oakland's quite figured out what they want to do. They'll take a timeout. We'll step aside, and we'll see if we're kicking or going for it. 9:32 to play. Oakland up 2 touchdowns, facing a fourth down decision on Comcast Sportsnet. So fourth down coming up for the Oakland Okers in Portland Christian territory, trying to get the lead back to 3 scores, which might be insurmountable at this point. I know, we never want to call it over. It's never over till it's over, especially in the state championship game. This is the 2A state championship, the OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires finale at Hillsboro Stadium. 4th down, 15 to go for Oakland. Here's that reverse again. Some room to turn the corner. Harper still going to the 10. First down. They needed 15. They got about 17.
Well, they got the same result that they did last time they ran it. And again, this is a great play call when you've got a defense that over pursues. The backside doesn't stay home. And here comes Harper right towards you. Look who's out front on the lead block. Even though he doesn't even get a block, he's an important part of the play because somebody's got to be out defending him. And then Harper just gets a lot of extra yards with some great second and third effort. And a score here by Oakland would really, really make it tough for Portland Christian to get back in the game.
Boy.
Considering the elements and the fact that they needed to throw the football, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, if Oakland can get in the... Oh, they're going to measure for this. It looked like he had progress to the 10. He got it.
Well, that was certainly efficient. So that's why you call the timeout, get everybody together, get everybody on the same page and say, all right, here's the play we're going to run, and we're going to get the first down by 3/4 of the ball length.
Well, when things are going well, that's exactly what's going on.
That's right.
No, and Ben Lane clearly has a feel for what his team can do. They fake the reverse this time. Turning the corner. Oh, there's the flag. Diving in for the touchdown, but hold everything. That's Jordan Bailey. We'll see if that's going to hold up or not.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Jeb Harper, number 4, up on top of the screen. If we get the replay, you're going to see he blocks the Portland Christian defender. I didn't get his number. He blocks him in the back. That would be the signal by Steve Johnson. And even though we don't need to see it again, it was so obvious. Even during the live part of the play, I think a lot of people saw it. And it may have been DeLucia that actually was blocked in the back. Needless to say, it's a penalty that's going to cost them some yardage.
Block in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot. Still first down.
See, I can officiate games from up
I
here
guess
as
so.
well. Yeah.
Well, many people think they can officiate from the stands in the press box.
Of course. We've got some officials down in front of us. The Oakland fans. I've heard quite a few calls made.
Tell you what, the score holds up. There's going to be a big party somewhere tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
These people are having a blast.
Question will be where?
It's been since 1964 that Oakland hoisted a state title trophy, and that was a much smaller trophy back then. And this one's going to feel good again. And 2A has been incredibly competitive.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I think of some of the teams Gold Beach has brought up here. Bob Swift, excellent coach, does so much in a very small community. Of course, Nevin Lewis came here with Culver back-to-back years in this stadium, won a championship, and was upset in his senior year. Just finished up a fine career at Portland State. Maybe get a chance to play on Sunday. Here's Henry. Get out of the way. You can't stop me. Touchdown, Oakers.
Well, that's just about as an emphatic exclamation point as you can put onto a run and most likely a championship game. Again, I'm just so impressed. Look at the number of white jerseys that just go the opposite direction.
I know. What's better, the blocking or his run?
Boy, I'll tell you, he gets it done. That's the bottom line. He gets it done.
Here comes the extra point. It's raining points for the Oakland Oakers. It's raining yards for Henry. Doing the offset line. Let's see if they shift. No, they do not. They're going to run the 2-point play. Throw it over the top. Penalty flag. Oh. Going to have interference.
I don't think there's any question. They'll probably line up and go for 2 again. Half the distance to the goal will be the penalty.
Pass interference on the defense, go half the distance, replay the drive.
Yes, it would be just in front of that yellow dot.
It's deja vu all over again. This time they'll just come to the line, give it to Henry, and a hop, skip, and a jump into the end zone. Plie. The 2-point conversion for Henry. One more look at the touchdown. Now there's the 2-point conversion. Henry in for 2, and here's the touch.
Watch this. Boom. And
Bounce
let's hit
off.
somebody else.
It's just that easy. 35-14 Okers.
Rewards, exclusive discounts, and preferred rates for U.S. Bank package. Choose Silver, Gold, or Platinum Checking and Creator package with the features that are right for you. U.S. Bank, all of us, so do you. Wilson is the official ball of the Midwest State Championship. Check out the line of Wilson Sporting Goods at wilson.com or the local retailer. Wilson does game ball for
Your local Ford stores present the scoring drive. Okers 53 yards, 7 plays. 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Play. 19 yards officially for David Henry. So Henry now 207 yards on 21 carries, 3 rushing touchdowns.
That's unfortunate. He slipped below 10 yards a carry, just a little bit.
I'm sure that will tarnish the state championship that is now impending. Yeah, there you see it, 9.9 the average.
He's out there telling the kickoff team exactly which way is the way to go. He's going to kick the football.
Zimmerman over the 30. 40. Got a little room. Henry's chasing him. And, of course, Henry will make the tackle at midfield.
Well, I knew the minute I saw 44 in chase, he was probably going to make the stop.
The middle linebacker is going to look at Zimmerman. It's like, man.
Well, and
this kid's been playing hard tonight.
And on this play, he was the kicker.
Yeah.
He got tackled by the kicker.
So the middle linebacker kicker tackles the speedy wide receiver on the return.
Well, a good run back, no doubt, for Zimmerman.
No, and he did a good job picking his way through the block. So 8:40 to go, and now Portland Christian really needs to pull out some stops and try a quick hitter. If you're going to get back into it. You have time technically, but you've really got to make some things happen. And you're going to have to stop Oakland from running the ball.
So there's Stephen Mumford telling his brother Nathan, who whispers to Zimmerman. It's almost like they're drawing him up in the dirt.
They have a huddle at the line. Knocked down. That'll be incomplete. That's the biggest man in the Oakland line, Austin Collins, 6'3", 215 senior.
That's a big Oker. And when you're 6'2" or 6'3", and then you extend your arms, that's a bit of an obstacle to try to throw over. And Mumford had a difficult time as he dropped back in the pocket. Mumford 5'8", 155 pounds, only a junior.
Mumford brings him to the line. Pressure. Caught inside the 30. Boy, nice pass there. With the doors of the castle being closed, he is able to connect for the first down to Nathan Mumford.
Great play as he stays in the pocket and then throws an absolute dart to his
Look
brother.
at that.
That's Jeb Harper on the defense.
And Harper was right there. It's
that
not
was
like
great defensive play.
that's all the coverage you can do. There's your home run play, and it's just out of the hands of DeLucia, and I believe the wet may have played a role in that.
Yeah, Jesse, you can tell how disappointed he is.
He was open, and he's going in.
Remember, it wasn't 2 or 3 series ago that he actually took himself out of the game because of cramps.
You see the way he runs back to the huddle. It's probably still bothering him a little bit. Well, and you know what happens when you start cramping like this? You start trying to stretch as you go, and then you cramp the other way. The top of your foot cramps.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't realize, even in weather like this, a lot of people
when
think
it's cold,
cramping is associated with the warm, and you're still sweating, still perspiring. It's always a possibility.
Well, that's it, and you just are losing. And you know what it is you don't hydrate either. Penalty flags as Mumford goes down. Big hit by Nix. Austin Nix has had a nice game. Offense, defense, scored that first touchdown.
Well, the one thing I've been really impressed is how he's played the defensive end position.
The penalties against Portland Christian. And they still, even if they were holding, they weren't holding Nix.
No.
They couldn't hold him up. Now, obviously the story of this game is going to be Henry. But Nix has been a prime player. And I think, again, you got to give a lot of credit to the line play in general for Oakland.
Holding on the offense. It's declined. Second down.
Well, Oakland has played a really good team football game. I mean, a guy like Henry is going to get a lot of the credit. But, I mean, as we look at replays of the scores, he's scored on a couple plays where he hasn't been touched until he's 15 yards downfield, and that is all as a result of just great blocking by the offensive line.
And so far, holding a team like Portland Christian to 14 points. Well, they go right back to the well, and DeLucia catches that one, and that is a first down. Inside the 15.
Mumford on the way down after getting hit, and he puts the ball in the only place that could be caught. And DeLucia was not going to make the same mistake a second time as he looked that one in. And they actually get the first down.
Now you see the receiving yards for Nathan Mumford. He's got 73. DeLucia, who just caught that ball, now up to, that's DeLucia's second catch of the game. He had that 66-yarder. He hasn't had one since.
Yeah.
They're going to look in the end zone right now. There it is. Touchdown, PC. Boy, what a series from Mumford. Throwing the football and lays it into brother Nathan to make it 35-20 with the extra point coming up.
Ian Pat and Jeb Harper on the coverage for the Okers. And Mumford, again, we've talked about this. The receiver goes up. You want to catch the ball at the highest point. His brother just launches it up in the air. He's well covered, but he's the guy that gets up the farthest and the fastest, and he makes the catch. And what a great job of holding on to it as he came to the ground.
They will kick the extra point. No need to go for 2 at this juncture. Kick is good. With 7:47 to go, back to a 2-score margin. Portland Christian did exactly what they needed to do in this series.
Well, this was the series they had to do it. And very impressive. Throwing the football in the rain. They had the one drop. But this is impressive because, Mumford, it looks like he's just dropping back and throwing it up and hoping. But, every ball he's thrown like this has been right in the vicinity, and this one's perfectly thrown. His brother Nathan goes up and makes a spectacular catch. You can see as he falls to the ground, he secures the football. And with the exception of a couple mistakes, they'd be a lot closer here in this game.
Your Northwest Ford's, your local Ford store, brings you the scoring drive. 6 plays, 45 yards, 53 seconds. Hey, if you're gonna take 53 seconds to get in the end zone, you got a shot.
That's the way to do it. And if they can duplicate that 2 more times with 7:47 left, they are in the money. The thing that's interesting when you take 53 seconds to score, the one guy on the field that didn't cause you any trouble was David Henry, the linebacker. Maybe there's something to that.
Well, we're going to have to look next series. Are they doubling him? Are they just running away from him? Certainly by throwing the ball. There's another onside kick. That ball did not go 10 yards, but it may have hit an Oakland defender. And if it did, it is a Portland Christian ball. I think it did hit a member of the receiving team and bounce backwards.
Well, I think the member of the receiving team actually stepped forward. That's the tendency, not to wait for the ball to come to you. And once you move forward, that 10-yard rule is off. It hits you. That's exactly what happened. And Portland Christian, after a 53-second drive, gets it back.
Well, you don't quite see who gets hit by it.
Well, I can see his helmet as he's dipping down in the number 71's, the guy that hit.
Collins.
Yeah.
So from their own 39, 41, I should say. First pitch, pass behind Farmer. I'll tell you, that last series, Mumford threw 3 pretty fine passes.
He absolutely did. And I think this pass would have been completed, but the umpire, I believe because of the positioning on the field, they tried to throw it right over the middle of the field, and Farmer was actually shielded. Umpire did a good job of getting out of the way and not getting hit.
Mumford hangs this one up, almost intercepted.
And how that wasn't intercepted, that's Johnny Comstock, number 21.
The other Comstock, I'm sure he loves hearing that.
Boy, that looked like an interception for certain as Mumford threw it off the back foot. And really what happened is DeLucia turned into a defender, knocked the ball away. That's a good job by Jesse DeLucia of Portland Christian to keep that from being an interception. At first I thought maybe he just dropped it.
Mumford short arms it, and that was a little hard to handle for DeBusman.
Well, unfortunate because they did have the edge. And I think part of why Mumford let go of it was he felt the pressure of the oncoming rush. Ball was thrown behind DeBusman, just a tough catch. It would have been a tough catch. And now there really is no decision here. I think they've got to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
There is still 7:32 left, but I think they recognize the value of, scoring as quickly as they can because Oakland's in a position with guys like Comstock and Henry that they can run the football and run the clock out. Uh-oh!
There's a takeaway. Look at this. And Henry with the ceiling block and a touchdown for Oakland. Zach Vanderhey may have just closed the deal.
Vanderhey with an interception because the ball was blocked, and I'm pretty sure it was Henry. And Vanderhey picked it out of the air and ran it in for a touchdown.
Now we're having an officials convention here, so let's see if there's any question. Is there a penalty against Portland Christian? Henry, who's of course also the captain and speaks to the officials.
Yeah, he's looking over the sideline.
I think there's a penalty against Portland Christian.
After the touchdown, probably.
Yes.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, half the distance to the goal,
So the touchdown's good.
This is for the conversion now.
That's right. Well, with all that movement, something had to have gone wrong.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
So that's a case where maybe that's a play that you've had in the playbook for a long time. You've never wanted to run it. You find a perfect time to do it in a state championship, and then you just don't execute the play. And it winds up costing you 5 yards because of motion. So now back to the more traditional attempt here. Maybe number 44 gets the ball here. Or
No,
how about 4?
Oh, that was almost the next grab for Harper.
So the 2-point conversion's no good, but the Oakers have really kind of put a bit more distance between them and the Royals, 41-21. Still 7:16 left because of the quick score off the interception by Vandehey, off of a blocked pass by Henry. So just as I talked about Henry not being involved in the 53-second scoring drive by the Royals, he certainly made his presence known on that drive, getting the tipped pass with pressure on the passer, Mumford. And then his teammate, Vandehey, picks it out of the air and scores a touchdown in the state championship. Man, those are plays that young man, he will remember that
No kidding.
the rest of his life. I will guarantee you, though, he will say that the return was like 55 yards, when in fact it was probably, I don't remember, maybe 35 yards. The legend will grow. That's the point.
I ran it's the famous example of that is the LSU Billy Cannon touchdown. That is one of the, literally the biggest thing that ever happened in the state of Louisiana before professional sports. And you read about that. We just up on an anniversary of that, in fact. And how big that play was. LSU dead and buried. And
Yeah, and it really wasn't that much.
But I'll tell you what, that's probably the play that seals the deal, because it's back to a 3-touchdown game with 7 minutes to go. Still some time left. Portland Christian's got to work. Here's Zimmerman. Surrounded by, and flags. If that's not a face mask, PC's going to be backed way up inside the 10.
Well, in kick returns, boy, I'll tell you, any time that you're going to dance around in the backfield, you know it's going to be trouble. It's actually a hold against Portland Christian, so really everything at this point is going against the Royals. And again, another conference with David Henry, the captain for the Oakers, and Steve Johnson out of the Blue Mountain Officials Association will tell us what the penalty is.
We got holding on the offense, on the run back, half the distance, first down.
That's the 22nd penalty total in this game.
This is now 2 games in a row in which the officials have gotten a lot of work in.
And again, when it's false starts and lining up wrong, that's the mental errors, the urgency of the championship. I don't think you can say the officials are trying to influence the game. Everything's been called pretty much to the letter. And in fact, we've had some, I think, pass interference that's kind of slipped by where they've been giving defensive backs benefit of the doubt. And now a false start on the offense. Well, and to go along with the rain, the wind is picking back up. I don't think the heavy stuff has moved in quite yet. In fact, well, there's the Oregon State. In fact, the forecast is for the wind to pick up as the evening continues. Zimmerman not quite ready for that.
Well, and I'll tell you, I have a great appreciation for our crew who works games like this, especially at this stadium. If you're on cameras up above our vantage point, there's a wind tunnel.
The wind is magnified by the roof. At Hillsboro, I can recall, was it 2 years ago? Was it last year? I went up and did a shift on the camera. No, it was 2 years ago. And it's like, oh, that's why. No, it's a great place to watch a game, and Hillsboro Parks District does a fine job running this facility. The Gordon Faber Athletic Complex, kind of a minor league baseball park right behind us next year, as the Hillsboro Hops make their debut, and there's going to be some high school events played on that field.
I'll tell you, it did not take long from the time the decision was made that baseball team was coming to breaking dirt. I mean, they're moving dirt today.
They don't fool around out here. Now, the Parks District and the city of Hillsboro really move along nicely with development. And I tell you, I think they're going to do well with minor league baseball here. The Portland Rockies, I worked with the Portland Rockies during their run. And there'll be a safety now. And look who, Mr. Henry, making the stop, adding 2 more to Oakland's total. They'll get the ball back.
Well, I've seen a number of dominant performances in high school football throughout the years, but this is one that's, on this stage, in this kind of game, this is about as good at any level. You can see he just shoots the gap. Nobody touches him. And that's partly because the guy not only reads the play so well, but he's so fast.
He moves so well. That's it. So Henry adds a safety. Well, and again, having seen him wrestle, I know Ben Lane was telling me during the week, he said, you're going to really like him on the football field. It's like, I do like him.
I like him a lot.
And this is why, Oregon State gets to look at him because, of course, there's a wonderful wrestling program there he could compete in, and you can do a 2-for-1. But, you see that speed. He could play at that level.
Listen,
certainly the Big Sky. He could be a killer in the Big Sky at linebacker.
I will say this. I think he is kind of the prototypical fullback type that Oregon State really likes. A kid that played for Sherwood High School a couple years ago, Michael Balfour, kind of in that same mold. This kid, Henry, is 6 foot 230.
I was going to say Henry's,
he's
we love you know Michael
Absolutely.
Personally. Michael's a great achiever. Henry's a better athlete.
No question.
So that is the kind of guy. So I think he could make that jump. And if the Beavers are serious about that, again with the wrestling combo, that's a real possibility.
Well, and wouldn't it be great if he could be a 2-sport athlete? That'd be fantastic.
Well, and that's something. See, Mike Riley, and this is, one of the differences with Oregon State. Mike Riley is willing to entertain that, especially if you can share a scholarship.
Absolutely.
He's cooperated with Pat Casey in baseball.
And, as they develop their track program, they're going to do more
Jordan
of that
Bishop.
as well.
Yeah, there's a guy I really miss, Jordan Bishop, who's had to retire, unfortunately. A tremendous high jumper. A squib kickoff after the safety. It's retrieved back at the 2, and Comstock brings it all the way up to the 19.
And you may have heard that gasp by the crowd. That would have been Mr. Henry with a block on the kick return.
Oh, I think we're going to see it here in a second.
This is, you're going to see 44 come in the picture. Right there.
Bam.
Oh, goodness gracious. And Bob, again, you're not talking about somebody who's good at just maybe one area. This young man is impressive defensively,
we've seen him carry
offensively,
the ball.
And the way he has blocked.
And now collegiately, a guy like this is screaming special teams. Get guys out there who can move and make plays, wrap up. There's Comstock spinning once, spinning twice. It's a 2.5 right there.
Trifecta. The triple spin. The triple Lutz in skating.
Are there not a few heroes for Oakland tonight?
Here, let's check out the triple Lutz.
Count the turns. 1, 2.
And now half semi-attempt. I would say he got the shoulder turn. I'm going to give him 3.
Okay. So name your heroes tonight. Henry, Comstock, Nix, Collins on the line.
No question.
Angus Swan shooting those gaps. And how about the guy in the middle of it? Ball's out.
Really, this
retrieved.
The first error. And I don't know if you
Portland
saw
Christian.
it, but David Henry smacked himself in the chest to say, that's my bad. Because I think what happened was Henry actually got in the way of the handoff. We'll see it on the replay.
He's
Watch
the blocker.
44. He takes a counter step, and then the ball just did not get into his belly. I think he took a counter step too wide. That's why he said it was his bad.
Yeah, just cut his arm. So Portland Christian has it back. 6 minutes to go. Well, if you're going to do something, strike right now. Here's Mumford. Going for all of it. Incomplete. Head to Lucia.
Bob, there's been a lot that has happened in the last minute and 40 seconds. I mean, there's still 5 minutes and 58 seconds
We had the
left.
Mumford to Mumford touchdown.
Yep.
Then Van de Hey returns we had the onside kick
Onside
recovered.
kick.
Van de Hey interception return for the touchdown. Henry gets the safety. And then they fumble. Oakland fumbles.
Yep.
This is why you stay for the whole game.
Yeah, and what had been a fairly fast-moving game has turned into a little
Weren't you
bit
talking about some fans leaving at one point?
Well, and it's just the pressure. Oakland is just continuing relentless pressure. They know that Portland Christian has got to throw the football, and they are literally just pinning their ears back. You see Henry, middle linebacker, 44. He gives the instructions. If he's talking, I'm listening. That's all I'm saying. And you can see his teammates turn, and you bet, David, whatever you say, buddy.
One more time, not quite.
Well, and Zimmerman says, how about the pass interference? But the ball was simply thrown to the inside of the field as opposed to outside. I think if Mumford would have thrown it more towards the sideline, Zimmerman probably would have been able to make the catch. But now you've got a 4th and 10. They can pick up a first down if they get to about the 2-yard line. They do have 3 timeouts, but I think they just took their first. You can tell the animation from the head coach, Coach Sieber, exhorting the Royals. There are the guys
Ben Lane in the middle of that. For
hydrating.
Oakland. Talk about
Well
cramps.
done.
See, and
Well
you know what we were starting to say? When it's cold and wet like this, you don't think you need to drink water.
That's
and then
exactly right.
Then you get the cramps.
So it'll be interesting to see here what the play call will be. I would suspect that they will be lining something up here to get a ball in the end zone. Need the quick score here. 5:50 left to go in the game. It's all about, will Mumford have enough time? Because there you've got 7, 8 guys in the box. And Henry coming from the outside.
One more time. There it is. Touchdown to Zimmerman.
3rd time's the charm, Bob. They threw it to the outside towards the sideline. He'd actually beaten the defenders twice before, but that ball was thrown exactly where it needed to be. Zimmerman ran a good route. Mumford made a great throw. Touchdown, Portland Christian.
And 5:45 to go. Plenty of time. They keep getting it back to 2 touchdowns. They really need to kind of crack the code, convert the onside kick, and put it in again. Then you're putting some pressure on. And this is going to be the key now. You're going to have to keep Oakland from running the football.
Yeah, because we know who's going to get it. It's either going to be Comstock or Henry.
Oh, yes. Oh, and it's dropped.
Oh, no.
2-point try to DeBusman. Boy, that was right in his hands. But again, the wet intervened. Let's look at the touchdown again.
Well, he gets time. Henry's rushing from the backside, but he throws the ball right where he needs to. right towards the pylon, outside. Only one guy can catch it. Well done.
So it's 43-27 with 6 minutes to go. Now, of course, the rub here for Portland Christian is they're going to have to go for two twice to even things up. But we're putting the cart ahead of the Ford, so to speak. Here is your scoring drive, courtesy of your local Ford store.
That was good, Bob. Cart before the Ford. I like that.
4 plays, 12 yards, 16 seconds. Go to compareford.com. Check out that new Escape. I like my old Escape, but I really like the new one.
They have really changed the look of most of their cars.
Yeah.
I really like it. Well,
Onside kick time.
here we go.
Or kick it into the defender. There it is. That'll go all the way out of bounds. Okay, if you're going to do that, you need to kick it straight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the University of Idaho was just expert at onside kicks. Rob Akey really worked on that, and he had, of course, a couple of good kickers. Tino Amasio got to go in the NFL, and now Trey Farquhar just finished up his career, and they had perfected the high bounce onside. Big, tall receiver Greenwood out of Edmonds, Washington, who recovered like 6 onside kicks in his career. But if you're not going to be that, defined with it, just, kick it hard, hit the up man, rush them, kick it between the two lines. There's a lot of ways to do it.
Especially on a night like tonight where the rain also plays a little bit of a factor.
Rain has let up quite a bit, but it's wet out there.
Guess who?
Henry. Well, Henry's going to try to finish this off himself. Over 210 yards now on the night.
Portland Christian still with 2 timeouts. They would want to hold on to those as long as they possibly could. And Henry getting 6 or 7 yards on a carry is not really what they want to see.
If his 16-point margin reminds you of an 8-man game where, teams go for 2 all the time. It's just natural. You had 2 touchdowns, we'll convert twice.
Look at the guys in the box.
Now they're going to do everything they can to contain the run, but they can't. Comstock gets the first down.
Well, when they've needed 5 yards or more, they've gone outside. That time it's just a simple toss sweep. They've used the reverse effectively a couple times in this game. And now it's really all about just keeping control of the football as the clock runs. Now down under 5 minutes.
Oakland now 328 yards of total offense. BC gets the stop there, but the clock keeps rolling. And you're right about the timeouts. You always have to guess, okay, we're going to hold them here.
Yep.
I don't want to take them yet. And you really do need them. I mean, if you're going to score twice, you need the timeouts. You're going to have to just play defense here, get a stop, get the ball back.
Well, and tonight, if you're Portland Christian, you figure, well, we've scored in 16 seconds and 53 seconds the last 2 times we've held the football. So you're doing the math in your head.
Just get the ball back. That's all you got to do. Just
you got to stop them right now.
Henry turns the corner. Still going. Still going. Still going. Touchdown, Oakland.
And this time, he gets a great block downfield from his running mate, Comstock. And he actually shut it down 10 yards from the touchdown. The play starts, it doesn't look like he'll probably get more than 10 yards because he's stumbling around. And, boy, once he was straight up, see ya.
And the celebration starting on the Oakland sideline. That trophy is going to look pretty good.
What'd you say, 1964?
Yeah, and that was, I don't know if they were 8-man then or it was B class. It wasn't quite on this stage, I'll tell you that. Extra point is good, and Oakland has put 50 on Portland Christian.
And here you go. So now it looks right here, he gets tripped up, but he maintains his balance.
And he doesn't even have his speed up.
Terrific. And now he sees the sideline.
Now he does.
And Comstock has run all the way downfield, and look
Right
at that
there.
block on Mumford. And he literally shuts it down about the 10-yard line and just walks in for the Oakers score.
Now your local Ford store brings you the scoring drive. 4 plays, 61 yards in 2 minutes. Oakland's put up some points this year. 60 against Bandon, 62 against Glendale, 65 against Enterprise. That was in a playoff game, by the way. And there's Henry's numbers now, 263 and 4 touchdowns. And notice his run average is back up to 11.
Yeah.
I know you feel better about that.
That's better.
You want him to have the perfect statistical night.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, it's one of the better performances we've seen in a championship game in recent years, you know. Think of Stephen Long last year for Lake Oswego in the 6A final. Certainly Thomas Tyner in Aloha's win over Tualatin a couple years back.
Yeah, but this is what makes it so much more impressive for me. He's doing it on both sides of the ball, special teams. I mean, just a complete football player, and he's gone high energy the entire time.
No. And again, this is where you start thinking. I mean, this even reminds me of Bobby McClintock in Marshfield. He did that. He'd have games like this. Jordan Senn at Beaverton, who ends up in the NFL. I mean, Jordan Senn was really a javelin thrower who played football, and turned out to be a tremendous football player. I'm sure Bob Boyer's getting a little laugh at that. By saying that, but no, I mean Jordan Senn, same thing. Huge disruptor on defense.
Well, and just in case you were wondering, the clock on our score bug is actually running at 3:24.
We'll be adjusting our clock. Now it is correct at 3:46. So here's PC. Oh, what a knockdown there. Wow. That was pretty savage. Angus Swan.
Watch him come through the gap unblocked. And I think DeBusman was actually supposed to step up into the gap to take him on.
But he didn't have time to.
He did not have time.
He's been doing that all night. And Mumford's a little banged up, as you might expect.
Well, here towards the end of the football game, he has gotten knocked around quite a bit.
He's going to come out of the game?
Looks like he is. Yeah, I think he got dinged pretty good.
So a new quarterback for Portland Christian is David Guild, who we've seen playing on defense the entire game, and he is kind of the quarterback in waiting, the junior. And runs up to the 45, and he discovers what's been going on out of the field. Another big shot by Swan.
This is one way to welcome a quarterback into the football game. The quarterback
they block Henry, but
and then
bam.
Harper.
That was Harper who got him first.
Hit.
And you know who this physical play, this reminds you of the Gold Beach teams.
Yeah.
This is how Gold Beach with the middle, they'd always have that middle linebacker, fullback guy who would just knock you around. There's another one of those surges. That ball slung and intercepted after being tipped around. Caden Moore with an escort. Tackled at the 34.
Wow. Well, Bob, that's one of the reasons why, early in the season they work tip drills. This is where they come in handy. Gill
Well,
feeling the pressure. I'm shocked he got the ball
yeah,
away.
I mean, you really shouldn't be throwing it at that point, although it's not, that pass is not the reason it was intercepted, other than it was thrown into a crowd.
Johnny Comstock, number 21, actually got his hand on it first, then it tipped off to Lucia. And Caden Moore gets the interception.
Now with 3 minutes to go, Oakland has it back. Portland Christian has 2 timeouts left. But a lot of ground to make up, and this may be the end. We'll see if Portland Christian pulls their horns in and lets the clock roll. They appear to be doing that now.
Well, and not surprisingly, we're seeing some different players in the backfield for Oakland. Get the field level view of what's going on in this game.
Portland Christian still loading the box. Barely got that handoff. Zach DeHay now carrying the ball, so it looks like
So Van de Hey and Johnny
new
Comstock,
faces in.
Bob, are in the backfield for the Okers. So David Henry's night is done, as is Ryan Comstock's night, at least offensively. O'Hara directing traffic, make sure the backs are lined up in the right spot. There's the simple quarterback keeper.
And O'Hara just wants to keep things rolling. Minute and a half to go.
Portland Christian bringing the house, still playing hard.
And the clock will continue to run. Well, now we have a stoppage on 4th down. So Oakland will win their first 2A championship.
Don't forget, this is a school district that this week dealt with some pretty nasty stuff with the norovirus going through a number of their schools. Impacted the football team and their practice schedule. And I did get an opportunity to hear some of the comments that Coach Ben Lane made during the week. And he said, look, these guys, they can take a day off from practice. At this point in the season, that's not going to hurt them. The issue was everybody healthy, and they came out and played like they were pretty healthy.
Oakland does punt after the timeout. So Portland Christian, 1 timeout left with 1:15 to go. And let's see if Coach Zeber puts a few youngsters in the game, get them some experience.
Well, and this is interesting too, Bob, this dynamic, because now this is where the fans, we have this transition period now where fans of this game are moving around and making more room for the Bowman and the Marist fans.
1:14 to go. And the trophy presentation will be in relative dryness for Oakland. And we have to have another penalty. That's number 25 on the night. So David Henry's night will finish, 263 yards and 4 touchdowns. Ryan Comstock, 71 yards and 3 receptions.
False start on the offense.
Oakland, 411 yards of total offense.
That's a fairly dominating performance.
Dangerous toss there near the goal line, and now the ball's out. And that will be covered up by Oakland, and that will be it. 2 more snaps, and it'll be ball game.
Jordan Bailey on the fumble recovery for the Okers. Now Oakland will line up, and probably at this point it's a victory formation. They'll probably take a knee. They do have Henry in the backfield, but they are in that victory formation.
Be one more snap after this, but the handshake's already beginning. And after starting 2-2, playing up against 3A teams, a 9-game winning streak ends the season. Oakland will go 11-2 and take home the state championship. Portland Christian will finish 12-2. Here we go, last snap of the game. And that is it. And a wet night will end with the Oakland Okers taking home the 2A state championship. And these fans down in front of us who've been hooting and hollering all night will get saluted by these football players as Oakland grinds out a great defensive effort. Outstanding offense, 50 points, and David Henry making a case that he's the best small school athlete of the state of Oregon, and he's right up there on all the high school athletes of the state of Oregon.
Well, and in this game we saw a very special football player. David Henry, offensively, defensively, special teams, what a leader, and a great football game.
All right, let's take a look at some highlights from this one. We're going to start Portland Christian with the ball, and here was Zimmerman. This was an important touchdown, bringing Portland Christian back.
Yeah, you felt right about that time they were back in it.
And then here's Henry. This ridiculous play setting up the touchdown. Now remember, they were penalized, so he gets to the 1 yard. They're penalized 10 yards, and then Henry goes, fine, I'll take it in from 10 yards out.
Great job of blocking by the line. And then the big guy again, this time a little contact at the line of scrimmage, and he just decides to run through everybody.
Now that made it 35-14, and then Portland Christian did rally. The brother act, Mumford to Mumford, made it 35-21. Portland Christian recovers the onside kick, but then after the turnover, Vandehey scoring on the interception return. Henry again.
Yeah, just too much Henry in this game tonight. Portland Christian did not have an answer.
And there's the final numbers for David Henry. 263 yards, 23 carries, 4 touchdowns. Big night as well on defense. Congratulations to the Oakland Okers, the 2012 OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A football champions. We take one final look at your local Ford store. Final statistics. Officially, it's 408 yards for Oakland to 245, and normally those 16 penalties would drive a coach nuts, but doesn't matter when you come back and make the plays. And the 373, that is some dominance on the ground, and, you know, Oakland doesn't want to throw the football. You don't have to throw the football. That'll do it. From Hillsboro Stadium, your final score, Oakland 50, Portland Christian 27. For Jim Patterson, I'm Bob Acamey, and thanks for joining us. You've been watching the OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires 2A Football Championships on Comcast Sportsnet.